What's up? This is Liza Graves from Civet, and you're watching The Blairing Out Show with Eric Blair.
This is The Blairing Out with Eric Blair show, backstage at the 2009 Warped Tour in Pomona with Liza Graves of Civet.
Woo! Hi, Eric.
Hey,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Liza Graves. Tell me a little bit about how Civet got together.
I started the band right out of high school, and I brought my sister, Susie Homewrecker, into the band when she was about 15. So we've been a band for about 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years. A lot of hard work.
What was your vision for the band?
You know, I always just wanted to be the toughest all-girl rock band out there. And I just felt like there was this void in the scene. And I just felt like, you know, I was like, hey, I can do that. You know, no more of this singer-songwriter bullshit.
You are signed to Tim Armstrong's label,
Yes.
Hellcat Records, which kind of fits you guys because you are Hellcats, correct?
We're Hell Kittens, actually.
Hell Kittens?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what did Tim Armstrong say to you guys, and how did he approach you about signing with him?
Chris LaSalle, who's his business partner, used to come to our shows all the time when we were on Disaster Records. And, you know, we've also known Tim for a long time. I mean, we were kind of a figure in the punk rock scene for a while. So, like, they had known about us, but they didn't think we were ready. You know, so they waited a couple years while we did our Disaster stuff, and Disaster made the big mistake of letting us go. And Hellcat was right there to swoop us up.
As far as the Hellcat deal, what did they kind of say? This is what we're going to do for you. This is what we have to offer you.
Ooh. They're like a kind of bigger label, you know, but they let you do your own thing. So nobody's ever telling you what to do or what to play or like who has to produce your record. Like you make that choice.
There's a lot of footage of you guys recording, doing pre-production at
yes.
Milano Music, and then actually going in the studio and recording the actual album.
Yeah, we did a pretty good job of documenting our record because we just wanted the fans to be able to see like what we actually go through in order to bring a record to them.
Now, what do you feel is inspiring your lyrics nowadays?
Well, I'm recently single, so a lot more anger coming your way. I don't know. You know what? Actually, this last record, there was a lot of like songs about heartache and stuff, but there was also a lot of times where I felt like I dealt with life issues and like just like the whole struggle of being a musician, but also having to work a 9-to-5 job, you know, when I'm home. And so I don't know, kind of working class. So I think I touched on a lot of different things that I haven't touched on in the last couple of records.
You've gone through a few drummers since I first met you guys.
Yes.
And
for the better.
What is it? This is almost a female Spinal Tap type of situation where you're just constantly have this revolving drummer thing.
You know what? I think we've got one that's good now. We actually, you know, our last drummer was the very first person we ever had to kick out of the band, and people are surprised by that, but in reality, like, people have left because they got older, they didn't want to play anymore, or they had drug problems, or whatever. Like, we never said, hey, you got to get out. You know, we're just not that type of band, but it's really hard to be on the road with somebody, like, 24/7 and get along, you know? But we actually took Roxy, she's not our new drummer because she's been in the band for almost a year now, but we've spent a lot of time on the road with her and we really gel like we haven't before with another drummer, and she actually is she came from another girl band called Rocket.
Oh yeah.
They made the mistake of letting her go and we swooped her right up.
Nice.
And so she's done her time on the road. She knows how to write songs. She knows what it is to be a touring, kind of broke, oftentimes musician, so it's good stuff.
Now, Liza, is there ever the notion that Civet is really you and your sister Susie Homewrecker?
I really love the girls in my band. Like we're like a family, you know. But at the end of the day, I do kind of like they let me do, you know, what I want to do, you know, because it has been my band for like 10 years, you know. And even my sister, sometimes I got to be like, stand down. But you know what, I think it's good because our dynamics in the band work well with each other. Like nobody's ever angry about things. Like everybody knows what everybody's position is. Like it really works for us.
As far as relationships go, you're at a point in your life right now where I don't really know if a relationship would work.
Exactly. That's why I got out.
Yeah, I mean,
we just got that big tour with Social D, and
yeah.
we have a Euro tour, and we were going to be gone for like 2, maybe 3 months, depending. And it got to the point where the person I was with just didn't want to stay home and wait for me, you know. And I can't make anybody else's career go better, but mine's doing good, and I'm not going to stand on the sidelines and wait.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's not really a time for love. I'm
it
sorry.
isn't.
I mean,
it's not a time for love.
You have this window of opportunity in
I
your
do.
life, and you have to grab it
Yeah.
and run with it. Is this your second time to Europe?
We did it all backwards. We went to Japan first, when most bands go to Europe a couple times and then go to Japan. But we just got back from Japan with Flogging Molly, and this is actually going to be our very first time in Europe.
What was the Japan experience like for Civet?
It was phenomenal. Like, I've never played a show in the U.S. where everything runs smoothly and there's no problems. But those Japanese people, they fucking have it down. They are amazing. Like, from now on, only Japanese cars for me, Japanese electronics, because they do everything so thoroughly, you know, that there's never an issue, you know? And also, not only that, but they're so respectful. You will never run it. Nobody will. There's no confrontation there because everybody is just so respectful of each other. It just blew my mind. It was eye-opening for sure.
What about the fans? Because the fans, I've talked to a lot of rock stars that say, oh, we get off the plane, we're mobbed, we get gifts.
Oh, yes. That's why you go to Japan. Because they do. They follow you around the airports. They show up at the train stations. It's amazing. And they do bring you things. Like, we got pictures, like, people would take photos with us and then come the next day at the train station with the photos developed for us. And just amazing.
There's a beautiful thing that you talked about earlier happening in your life. That is an opening slot for Social Distortion. This
Yes.
is one of the most envious slots that you can get in your business.
This is not an opening slot. This is a direct support slot we are going on.
Wow. Now, well, explain that to me.
Well, there's the headlining band, which would be Social Distortion, okay? And then it would go us, and then there's an opener for us. So it's a 3-band package tour,
Wow.
but we actually get to direct support Social D.
How would you define the word heartbreak?
Heartbreak is something that happens to everybody, and it makes you stronger. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Define the word love.
Love is something you have to do for yourself before others can give it to you.
Okay, that's in the words of Ozzy Osbourne, you've got to believe in yourself
You
or no
do.
one will believe in you.
You fully do, yeah.
Cool. And then what brings Liza Graves the most peace in her life right now?
Being single. No, actually, I do a lot of yoga, and I try to eat healthy, and I tour. I love touring. It's amazing. It's a great, freeing feeling.
Tell me just briefly, what is a day in the life of Liza Graves like when you're on the road?
Oh, I sleep as late as possible, definitely. I usually have to do a little bit of driving, and then we'll get to the venue, we'll roll in, we set up, we do sound check, and then we get dressed for our show and do our makeup and stuff, and then we rock out, and then we spend the rest of the night like talking to fans and stuff.
How's the new album doing for you guys?
Amazing. We're very lucky. We are so lucky.
Do you project any MTV exposure?
Probably not on this record. They've pretty much finished up like promoting this record, like at the label, but we definitely see it in the future for the next record. We're moving in a great direction. It's really like our sound is really rock, you know, and I think our style is getting even more defined than it was. And, you know, we've been on these tours, so we're kind of making waves. It's good stuff.
As far as songwriting goes, are you happy with your songwriting output right now, or do you see an evolution happening eventually?
You know, on the last record, I felt like the songwriting was a little bit kind of one-sided. Like Susie and I did the majority of the writing or whatever. And then on this next record, we're trying to make a conscious effort to sit down and do songs together. So we're coming out with stuff that just blows our minds, because we're like, wow, I wouldn't have thought of that, but you filled in the missing link. And like, it's just such a great feeling knowing that you can get together with like 4 people and really do something that you could not do on your own. So I think the new record, the songs are going to be amazing.
Now, is Liza Graves a spiritual person?
Oh, yes. That's a tough one, Eric. Yeah, but I'm really a firm believer in not pushing my views on other people. How
would you define your spirituality?
I just think, you know, there's something inside you that tells you kind of what's wrong and what's right, and as long as you go along with that, you know, as long as you try to do the right thing by everybody in your life, you're doing good. So that's how I live. Like, I just try to live like a good life. You know, at the end of the day, I go, did I fuck anybody over today? You know, that I'm gonna feel really bad for. You know, I should really clean that up. Or I just try to do the right thing at all times.
And has there been any resistance so far on the road to your success?
The revolving drummer door. No, I'm kidding. You were talking about.
Like when you get to a venue or you meet people in other bands, is it always love?
You know what? It pretty much, if it's not love at first, they get to see us play, and we just do our thing. And at the end of the tour, they respect us. You know, so we've never had a problem with bands giving us issues or giving us a hard time when we got on tour. Like I think that we're really good about putting our money where our mouth is. And at the end of the tour, they're usually like, "Wow, I don't really like girl bands, but you guys blew me away."
And then how did you feel about the news that Michael Jackson had died yesterday?
Michael Jackson was an icon, and people can say anything they want about him. I mean, yeah, he had some sketchy stuff, going on in his life, but at the end of the day, like, he inspired everybody, and really lucky to have had him.
Are you living the dream?
I am living the dream, Eric.
Nice. Liza Graves, it's been awesome talking to you.
Eric.
The Blairing Out with Eric Blair show with Liza Graves of Civet. Signing off.
The Blairing Out Show.